Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and there's a lot going on this morning. I wanted to start here, okay? Google is going to allow Bitcoin and crypto ads from the 29th of January, which is interesting because I've felt like for the last year, I've felt like the YouTube and all of that was censoring and putting a stranglehold on viewership and all this stuff, and this makes sense. It's almost like they're prepping everything for the coming Super Bowl to let the Kraken out, release the Kraken. Now, check this out. The kid is back, and he's taking shots at Ethereum, and he's actually partially right in what he's saying. He didn't go all the way, but listen to what he says.
Yeah, so to be clear,
remember the kid, Jack Mallers, is Bitcoin Maxi. Of course, he won't talk about the Homeland Security video where they met with the 4 Satoshis. He doesn't want to talk about that. But he's willing to talk about how horrible all other coins are. But in the case of Ethereum, he's almost over the target.
And my company, we are a Bitcoin company. I'm a Bitcoiner. I think crypto is a load of garbage. I think it's generally a distraction to what this technology and this movement represents and is here to change. And so how the world is going to sort out the fact that some kid named Vitalik Buterin printed a lot of coins in his basement and then pre-sold them to people and has been promising all sorts of crazy things that have never happened. I don't know. Is that a security? But I guess the point is I don't care. Everyone knows that Bitcoin has regulatory clarity, that Bitcoin is now officially on Wall.
Nope, doesn't have regulatory clarity. All it has is the opinions of the current regulators. An SEC regulator could come in tomorrow and his opinion could be that it's a security because Bitcoin does not have regulatory clarity. Regulatory clarity is the courts or a legal decision by the courts or Congress. Neither has been done with Bitcoin. Sorry, kid.
That Bitcoin is distributed, it works, its monetary policy has never changed, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to change the world through Bitcoin and push Bitcoin as far as we can as humanity and society. So the regulation on, I think altcoins are arbitrages on this trend. I don't think they'll be around, by the time I die. I imagine, what is Dogecoin going to do for society over the next 20 years? Come on, what are we talking about? So do I want to hold Ethereum? Ethereum's a tech play. Ethereum's a gamble that Jamie Dimon's going to use it. What did he say in his ski resort Davos interview, that he's going to use it to flip real estate? What does that even mean? That doesn't mean anything. I was around, people don't know history. I was around when Ethereum got hacked and that the Ethereum Foundation cherry-picked transactions. They were like, oh, we broke something, so that transaction doesn't exist. We're going to change the monetary policy here. That's what I'm going to do to hedge the Federal Reserve and the fact that they got to front a $37 trillion bill? Yeah, no thanks. And no one on Wall Street thinks that either, right? Bitcoin is the actually only innovation that is attractive to solve what is the biggest financial problem ever, which is central banking. So Ethereum is a tech play. And if Ethereum turns into the new Tesla, like a stock, like an equity, great, sure. People are going to get stimulus checks and they're going to go punt Ethereum and bet that Vitalik is the new Elon Musk, but it's not a new world reserve currency that everyone can use. So this is a massive problem. And no, I don't think Solana, Ethereum, Dogecoin, no, I don't think that that's mattered.
So he didn't touch XRP. That would have been a mistake for him. Well, Jimmy Valley kind of reminds us from yesterday. Have you heard of the scandal called ETHgate? It's been called the largest financial scandal in history, bigger than Enron. Check it out. This is the ETHgate, the financial crime of the century. Here's some of the players in ETHgate. He gave a speech and they cashed out. That's a great. Now, something I don't think I've ever really done it on this channel in terms of talking about Bitcoin. Let's remember, for the last, or Bitcoin and Ethereum, for the last 5 years, we've watched as Wall Street and the government has pushed the Bitcoin Ethereum narrative. But have you ever really asked yourself, why did they choose Bitcoin and Ethereum? And why did they choose XRP to go after? If you understand how the mechanisms work, it starts to become very clear. David Schwartz has said many times that the best incentive is no incentive. Well, the bad guys need incentives. That's how they control things, like mining. If you control the mining, you can control Bitcoin. Like with Ethereum, well, I'll just show you the video. This is a video that the XRP Ledger Foundation did on the consensus mechanism. And this, if you truly understand, and if you watch this 3 minutes and you understand what they're saying, and I'll try to stop it and fill in the blanks, but if you understand, it becomes very clear why proof of stake and mining would be the favorites of the people in the current system. And it would make you understand why they would intentionally get a plan together at the SEC and the CFTC to let Bitcoin and Ethereum have a free pass, but go after anything else, especially the consensus mechanism, which is what XRP Ledger is. Watch this.
Welcome to our series on the XRP Ledger. In this episode, we'll describe how transactions are confirmed on the XRPL using the consensus mechanism. With a decentralized ledger, there's no single central arbiter that confirms transactions, but there does need to be a method to ensure.
See, what in other words, what they want is they want to sell the world on this decentralized concept, but it was a total trick. It was a fraud. The whole idea that it was going to be decentralized, they chose the design of mining and the design of the now I'm drawing a blank on it. The design of mining and the design of the Ethereum 2.0. Anyway, they're going to show it in a second. I'll show you.
All network participants execute transactions correctly and consistently. This includes the order in which transactions are processed to avoid what is called the double spend problem, an attempt to spend the same asset more than once. On a blockchain, there are different ways to reach this agreement. One of the first consensus algorithms developed is called proof of work, which is used by a number of blockchains.
Bitcoin.
A number of validating nodes called miners all compete with each other to solve a difficult mathematical puzzle. So difficult that it takes a huge amount of computing power and electricity. And why do complex math all day? Because not only does the winner decide the transaction order, they also get a reward paid out in that native asset. But it does come at a cost to the environment, particularly if the energy used is not sustainable energy. And it's not always the most efficient way to settle a ledger, as it takes a lot of time and can be expensive. There's also proof of stake, where each...
All right, so you got it. If you control the mining, you control Bitcoin. Then there's proof of stake. Well, this is what Ethereum 2.0 is. And you can see it's like watching a crime in progress. When she shows you what proof of stake is, remember, when Ethereum had the ICO, they disguised the whales. You're about to see why they disguised the whales.
Stakes a certain number of cryptocurrency in order to participate. And similar to buying lottery tickets, the more you invest, the greater chance you have of winning.
In other words, the disguised whales have the most of it, so they control it. That's the point. That's why those are the two that the bad guys, those are the two that the people that would want to continue to have control over the financial system would have chosen Bitcoin and Ethereum to be their favorites while they slam the door on everything else and go after XRP.
This is much more efficient, but it does concentrate validation among the wealthiest stakers. And finally, we'll discuss a third method, the XRP Ledger Consensus algorithm. This doesn't rely on huge amounts of energy to solve math problems or require pay-to-play. Instead, the incentive for the nodes to confirm transactions on the XRPL is simple, so that the ledger functions well. And the best way to help the ledger function well is to reach accurate agreement as efficiently as possible. So within seconds, a number of diverse and independent nodes rapidly compare notes on a set of transactions until they agree on the processing order and confirm the transactions. Because this happens within seconds,
So, are you getting the picture now? If you hadn't gotten it before, you might get it now. Ripple works with financial institutions, regulators, central banks around the world to develop regulatory frameworks for crypto and blockchain. Read our approach to key blockchain public policy issues that impact. So this is something Ripple had put out yesterday. Then Meta Lawman was on with Brad Combs. He's been studying or been at the Coinbase hearings. Listen to what he says. The guy's so smart. This dude helped me get back on X. I wouldn't want to be at odds with Meta Lawman. This dude's sharp.
The judges are very smart, but they're not expert in how crypto works. And so therefore, the SEC made a lot of statements that were not immediately challenged by the judges, unfortunately. One of the best examples was one of the SEC lawyers in the Coinbase case said the reason that Bitcoin is not a security is because there is no ecosystem behind it, unlike all of the other tokens.
Reminds me of when the SEC told Charles Gasparino that the Ethereum ecosystem was built out, so they didn't go after Ethereum, but XRP was not built out, and so they had to go after it. And they were just bold-faced lying. They're making it up as they went.
So John Deaton and I, were sitting next to each other in the audience there, and we just turned and looked at each other. And, you're not supposed to laugh in court. That can get you in trouble. But, our eyes were rolling like, how can they say something so absurd? And the problem is the judge didn't contest that. The judge doesn't know that, in fact, the Bitcoin ecosystem is one of the largest ecosystems on the planet and arguably is second only to the internet itself in terms of the scope of this ecosystem, where in order for transactions to be validated, there has to be a consensus that involves people and mining in nearly every country across the globe. That's an ecosystem. And then all this building that's happening on top of Bitcoin with ordinals and other things happening. There is no question that there is an ecosystem. And so.
Okay. And then finally, this is interesting. This is from Dubai FinTech Summit. What are the implications of the recent SEC approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs? This is an interesting 1 minute. Watch this. Ever-evolving landscape. What can it lead to? Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Now, in DAIXRP.com, there's an undercover video. You want to see how bad it really is? You want to see how bad it really is? There's an undercover video. There's also one of the I'll call it the Canadian conspiracy I wanted to show you. And also the guy who was caught trying to bribe Carrie Lake. There's more on that too in there. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go, DAIXRP.com.